Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for holding this important hearing. I want to thank all our witnesses for being here and for your testimony. Our nation is facing an affordable housing crisis. We have for years. It's been worsened by the pandemic and now is one of the leading drivers of inflation in the U.S. Now more than ever, we've got to increase the supply of affordable housing. Together with my colleagues, Representatives Beyer, Walorski, and Wenstrup, I've championed legislation that would do just that. The Affordable Housing Credit Improvement Act would make critical investments in the housing credit, which is the primary tool for financing virtual all affordable rental housing since 1986. The housing credit, which we also call the low-income housing tax credit. Our bill is estimated to build or preserve over 2 million affordable rental homes, support 3 million jobs, provide $345 billion in wages and business income, and generate $119 billion in tax revenue over the next 10 years. There are a growing number of states, including my home state of Washington, that are running up against our annual private activity bond cap, which is tied to their ability to access the 4% housing credit. So in Washington state alone, there are only 31 affordable homes available for every 100 extremely low income people. So we cannot afford inaction. Ms. Hammernick, I wondered if you could talk to us a bit more about just how oversubscribed the housing credit program is and the impact that that's having right now.
Yeah. It is oversubscribed across the country. It's fiercely competitive to receive awards for the tax credits, and the housing finance agencies are working hard to make sure that they are funding projects that need the credits and can show real impact in the community. So it's definitely a strong need and very competitive.
Could you also speak to how reducing the bond financing test could improve the efficiency of using the private activity bond cap for states so they can better support families that are looking for affordable housing and also help us increase the supply of affordable housing?
Sure. The housing that's bond financed receive 4% tax credit automatically, and at least 50% of the development cost currently must be initially financed with tax-exempt bonds. So the proposed legislation would decrease that to 25%. And really, the 50% number is just a number. It's just arbitrary. So allowing that decrease will allow states to use their bond authority more efficiently and help more developers access those bonds.
Thanks. You described the low-income housing tax credit as the backbone of our nation's affordable housing system. And though it's often used in conjunction with other housing programs, the credits are what actually makes those developments possible. I wondered if you could speak more to the interaction of the housing credit and other programs and whether these properties would be possible, some of these projects would be possible without the credit.
Oh, sure. The 9% credit, when it's allocated, funds typically around 75% of total development cost. So these other gap financiers that come in can be lots of different things. Sometimes we just need a first mortgage and we're able to work with a bank to fill that gap. Other times, maybe it's home program funds, maybe it's National Housing Trust Fund, but those other programs really are designed to be gap financiers and to target certain populations. So you can see when you look at tax credit deals, primarily it's less than 60% of area median income. And local states will, in their qualified action or their qualified allocation plans, are able to put certain priorities in. So when we have Ranking Member Brady talking about one size fits all, that's the beauty of the tax credit program, is that it lets local jurisdictions have control and put priorities on what they want to fund and how it looks in suburban, rural, and different areas. But inside those plans, targeting those certain populations, some of these other funding sources demand that, and so they're natural gap fillers.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your testimony, and I yield back, Mr. Chairman.